Social distancing.
We are no longer betrothed. We are wed. We got married.
I am wed.
But we didn't have a wedding. We didn't have our wedding. Now, if you follow me on social media, you will know a lot has happened and been announced since my last video. Ireland is kind of in a semi-state of lockdown with all that's going on right now.
Yeah.
And I've had no motivation to film at all. So I still don't have motivation to film this video. I'm just forcing myself today for us to get a bit dressed up and sit down and have a chat.
I've got my wedding tie on.
Yeah, it's making me so... I'm wearing the dress I got from ASOS as like a backup wedding dress in case my other one didn't fit. You know by now that I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a whole separate video about that, like a first pregnancy vlog.
Yeah. Today is about the wedding story and everything that happened and how we still managed to actually get married.
Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And you know, right now, the I don't even want to say it, the C word.
Yeah.
It too must not be named. Everyone is being affected. Everyone we know. All different kinds of industries, people's families. People are literally dying right now. What we decided to do is just kind of focus on the fact that we're really lucky. Yeah. Like, we're both well, our families are well, and at the end of the day, that's what matters, like love and family. In saying that, things have just escalated so quickly that we had a week to deal with the fact that our wedding, that I've been banging on about for months on YouTube and on Instagram,
Yeah.
and that we've both put in a whole amount of time and energy into planning.
So many lists.
Yeah. You were so good with your lists.
I'm keeping my lists. I'm going to use them.
We had to cancel.
So the original plan was we were just going to go into town, sign the papers, maybe go grab a coffee and head home and make it the least romantic thing possible.
Yeah.
The actual like signing of the wedding documents. And then at the weekend just gone, we were going to have like the big 4-day wedding, the ceremony, the reception, all the family there up in the Wicklow Mountains and Ballybeg House with all the sheep and the pigs and the sheeveen and the hot tub and the singing waiter and the DJ.
Obviously could not go ahead because first off, what happened first was the government rightly said we should keep gatherings to under 100 people. Yeah. And we just figured we'll listen to the professionals, we'll go with the government advice, and they were still happy enough for gatherings to happen because obviously people were still going to the cinema and being in rooms full of people. So we figured, you know, our wedding's not going to be any different from any of those things. And obviously there was so much time and energy and happiness and money on the line, and we were so excited. And any of you who've planned a wedding know the build up to it is just intense.
It's just months and months and months of effort.
Yeah.
Like, I think I probably drove to Liffey Valley in Dublin 7 or 8 times, sorting out suits, sorting out tailoring. Suits for the groomsmen, like all just up and back, and that was just for the suits. And like just everything had so much time. So many hours and hours and hours. Yeah. Of organisation. Before
we go into all of the things anyway that we just like had to just let go, then what happened was, so we were trying to cut down the list, which was awful. Imagine being told you need to like cut a third of your guests from your wedding, and like then you're trying to decide who do I not want there as much as the rest of them. It's a horrible thing to have to say to anybody. And we were in the middle of that, but then people started dropping out like flies. Family members who have asthma and, you know, people who were just really worried about passing it on to a child or a family member, an older family member. We'd kind of agreed that obviously like our grandmothers couldn't come and stuff, which was so shit. Remember, that was the reason why we wanted to have the wedding so soon.
Yeah, like just my granny's like touch wood, they're both still really well, really active and that type of a thing. So I was like, I want them to be able to enjoy
there.
the wedding and
Guest list went from 125 people down to about 85, 86, and it was still like dropping every day. And then the government said they didn't ban weddings in Ireland, but they asked people not to have them. So they were kind of saying like, if you go ahead with a gathering, like a party in a venue or in a house or anything like that, you're putting people at risk. And we just like looked at each other from across the sitting room, and it just kind of like sunk in.
We couldn't in good conscience put everyone in the room. Before that, we were kind of saying, look, everyone that's going are adults. We'll just,
let them decide.
Let them decide. And the people who do want to take the risk on coming will have plenty of sanitizer. We won't hold it against people if they don't want to shake our hands.
And we were even going to like have this announcement, of like, I messaged the venue and I was like, should we have an announcement about like no hugs and no handshaking and all? And I was already feeling really weird about the day. Like all of what is happening in the world, like that was kind of tainting it anyway. So I'm kind of glad it didn't go ahead and couldn't go ahead. It just wouldn't have been right.
Yeah, we were planning on just adapting and moving forward while meeting the government's guidelines. But then they basically said, if you have the party, even if everyone comes at their own free will, it's your fault because you're hosting a party. So we
just felt so bad. It's
cancel.
Just, it went from like everyone being like, oh, it's not that big of a deal to this is really serious, really quick. And I can hold my hands up. Wasn't I initially at the start? Well, no, I had a panic attack about it. I was very scared. But the reason I started being kind of defensive about it was because that was my coping. That was how I was coping with it. Like, I got really panicked. I was freaking out downstairs. Thomas and my dad had to calm me down. And after that, I started looking up. I was kind of seeking articles that were kind of being like, oh, it's just like the flu. And all. I wanted to think of it as not a massive threat, and that I was constantly thinking, oh, well, they just haven't done enough tests and the death rate is probably nothing. And, that kind of thing. But then as things progress, like day by day, we're all seeing it's changing very fast, and the situation in Italy, so many people are dying, and it's not a case of like us being worried about us catching it. And that's what I feel like we all need to think about, other people
catching it. Yeah, exactly. Like I can admit as well that when the government guidelines came through, I was saying that it was ridiculous. I was saying that it was way too early. I was like, there's only a handful of cases in Ireland. Why can't they just not do this for another few weeks? Like most other places wait until it gets to a certain level and then start clamping down. We're clamping down now. Like, why? And I just felt so robbed. But now, like, the wedding is supposed to be around the time we're filming this.
One of our friends might have it, and like we would have been with her this weekend. And
I'm just thinking if we had gone ahead with it, it would have been so bad and dangerous. Yeah, like I'm so glad that they did that. And I can see now that I was so wrong. It was just because I just had the blinkers on. I was just like, wedding.
We were obviously like, a lot of your savings has gone into something, and you're kind of it felt like it wasn't really happening. I'm sure a lot of you know that, like, it just feels like a nightmare. It feels like this isn't real. I know that a lot of other people with weddings and stuff have been screwed over by this situation, but at the same time, when you look at how unnecessary a big fancy wedding is and how frivolous it is, it's something that's a luxury, it's something that is a privilege to be able to have, and then people who, if someone dies, they can't even have a funeral for that person. Like, there's way worse situations we could have been in. But I still we wanted to share this because firstly, we've shared so much of the planning, in the monthly vlogs back when we were still doing monthly vlogs, and we're going to bring back weekly vlogs soon, like not every week, but the odd weekly vlog. Secondly, because I think that right now online there is a lot of judgment when people are kind of talking about their own situation or how this has impacted their lives, and as acting as if, oh, well, people are dying, you're not allowed to think about yourself for a second. And it's not like we're sitting here just being like, woe is us, like world's smallest violin. But at the same time, you're kind of like,
it just feels robbed, you feel robbed when you've spent 8 months or 6 months. It felt like 8, just getting it all together, of planning, money, like so much just excitement and effort and anticipation, and then it's just like someone says, oh, do you know that thing that you've spent all this time built up? Well, it's gone.
Yeah.
And you don't get to ask why, you just have to move on.
Yeah. So. But we have moved on.
We have, yeah.
But we wanted to kind of go through like all of the things that were set up, how we cancelled it, and how we've just dealt with it.
Yeah.
And because we're so fine now, like we're just so over it, and we're so focused on the marriage. Like our marriage is what matters to us, and not a day.
But yeah, when everything kind of went tits up and all that, I kind of realised though when Melanie was walking down the aisle that I didn't need the big wedding and the singing waiter and all the fireplaces and the candles and everything. I just needed to say my vows.
Yeah.
And put on this super cool ring.
Oh, it's so cool. Black diamonds.
Yeah.
Everything was ready to go. Down to the sparklers, down to the flip-flops. I had gotten my nails done. I'd gotten my hair dyed. I'd had a facial done for it. We had the throws for the bridesmaids.
We bought loads of free drink, like Prosecco, beer, wine, non-alcoholic stuff to be served before and during the reception.
Oh, your sister did all of the, like, she did these table names for each table in, like, tea-stained paper, because she's really good at art, and we named each table after a location from all of the, like, shows and books that we really like.
Yeah.
And games and stuff. Just so many things were ready. We're done. And
everything was done.
Basically everything was paid for. And there's still, like, when it comes to the money side of things, like, some of the companies have to claim back from their insurance, and they're kind of saying to us, like, when and if we get the money back, then you'll get it back, and like it's gonna basically take months. So that's what sucks with all this, is because our plan was like have the wedding and we had money set aside and it was all fine, but then move straight on to getting our mortgage.
Just start saving everything.
Away.
Save as long as we can until we're able to get a mortgage. And now we can still do that, but it just means that
that we burned money though.
Yeah, we've got money sitting with third parties now that it's going to take a long time to get back.
The money thing wouldn't matter at all if, like, you know, we have a baby on the way now, and like it's not like the virus hasn't impacted our jobs or won't impact our jobs, because, you know, that's not something I want to go into, but everyone's jobs are being impacted by this. Obviously people are still watching YouTube and stuff like that, but things like advertisers are going to pull back. I'm really hoping the podcast still goes ahead. It was literally supposed to. Spotify had just received the pilot that we'd done with the production company. Thomas works in aviation, so, you know,
got a lot of free time at the moment.
So it's just hard, and I feel like we all need to come together and be able to just vent and just say the things that we're going through in the moment, but then also step back and be grateful for what we do still have, and put things in perspective. So if you have stuff that you're going through, feel free to go and pour it all down into the comments, because I know some other people are being like, well, you shouldn't talk about that.
We're still going to go ahead with the big fancy wedding. Like, we're still going to have all that. Someday. We're thinking probably like a year and a half, or maybe even slightly longer down the road. It won't be this year at all. Definitely won't be this year.
Yeah, because I've
later
like,
next year.
People were asking that, and I have like the book deadline, then obviously pregnant, and even doing fittings when you're not pregnant for a wedding dress. It's like a half day, like multiple times, where you have to go in and then they do the thing. And imagine if your body was like constantly changing for months and months. That would just be so stressful. I don't want to be feeling all of the pregnancy symptoms at the wedding anyway. This is one thing we didn't think through. We just didn't think we'd get pregnant so fast when we started trying. That's for the other video. But we were kind of like, oh sure, even if it did happen right now, it'll be like 3 months down the line, it'll be fine, you still won't be showing. That's all I was thinking about, was showing.
All the organisation is done, we're ready to go, and then we're watching the news, and my mate Leo, he's up there and he's telling us, lads, it's not going to happen. So we're like, okay, it's kind of damage control now. So I'm texting friends that were supposed to be coming from Scotland. We were supposed to be coming from France, from the UK, from different parts of Ireland, just saying like
some of them couldn't get flight refunds, you know,
most
and
of them couldn't. Yeah.
they'd all like they bought clothes and like it wasn't just us being impacted. It was like other people, you know, some people had babysitting plans set up and like some people were really looking forward to this.
Like hotels
almost as much
and...
as we were. So yeah, we were messaging group chats, we were sending emails to like the videographer, the photographer, the DJ, the venue, like just anyone who was involved. And thankfully, the one good thing is the woman who was kind of in charge of doing all the food and the flowers and like paying for all that and sorting all that out, that hadn't been done, so she hadn't actually gone and bought all that stuff yet.
Yeah.
So if that had have happened, then that would have been another like thousands and thousands that would have
been a
gone
massive
down the drain.
cost. Like the venue were really, really supportive through all of this. They basically said they were going to wait till the very, very last minute before they would have to order food or flowers or anything like that, which basically meant that it would save us a lot of money if things did go the way they actually did end up going. So.
And the only way we kind of had an inkling that this might happen, and we had a bit of time to mentally prep for it, was because it was happening in Italy. And Ireland were kind of a couple of weeks behind Italy, and over there it had exploded very fast. Yeah. So that was like, I was saying it, and, you know, my dad and stuff was kind of like rolling his eyes. He was like, it's going to be grand, it's going to be fine. And I was just like, yeah, but they've cancelled weddings there. It could happen. It might not go ahead. And I wanted to be a bit more of a realist, because usually like I try and be optimistic, and we do the whole blind faith thing all the time. Like we were
I was using so much blind faith. I was literally staring at the sky like, come on. Just give us this.
Even if I had an eyelash, usually if I have an eyelash, Thomas gets it and he goes, make a wish, and then I blow it, and I always wish for our health and happiness. That's just a stupid thing we do. But I blew it and he goes, what did you wish for? And I was like, our wedding. And then we were just like, when we were out walking, we'd be like, we want our wedding. Yeah, it was just so unimaginable. Like that day, I had a bit of a scream and a cry, and I had a bit of a strop, and I was really upset. But I got over it relatively very quickly.
Yeah.
I think just by kind of snapping myself back into reality and kind of doing what I usually do and looking at how much worse it could have been.
Yeah. It was more the not knowing that
like,
was the stressful part.
Yeah.
Like the fact that we were like, could it happen, could it not happen? But at that moment we said, right, we're not doing this. Yeah. We told everyone, we cancelled everything, and then we said, okay,
we'll make the most of the registry office. We still
have the registry office thing, and when we were signing up for it, they said...
I'm so glad we had that set up.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we would have had to wait a while to get married.
Yeah. Like, we were going to go in and just sign the forms, but they said, on the day when you turn up, if you want to do the whole bells and whistles, music, readings, everything, we can do that too. You decide when you get there. So we rocked up, having told them we're just going to come in, sign it and leave.
I thought I was going to wear like a tracksuit or something.
And I rock up wearing my full suit. Melanie's in a wedding dress. We've got my parents, her dad, her brother, my sister, and then our mate Simon, who was supposed to be one of my groomsmen as well, taking photos. And we're like, we're all here.
Oh, the face on them. But we did make the most of it. We picked a song that wasn't even on any of our wedding playlists. It was from Braveheart. We just wanted something separate, so we didn't associate that day with like all of our lost planning. The original song I was going to walk up the aisle to was from Game of Thrones, the I Am Hers and She Is Mine song. It's in the background of all like the wedding, you see coupley scenes. But we picked a song from Braveheart called A Gift of Thistle or something, and it was lovely. It was like a minute or so long. Dad got to walk me up the aisle, which was like my number one main thing. It was really important to me that my dad walked me down the aisle, and anyone who's been following me for a long time knows that he had a heart attack a couple of years ago, and it was really difficult, and I'm just so close to him. He's like my best friend, and it means so much to me that he is so approving of you, and like you get on so well. Like after we did, like, so he walked me down the aisle and all, and we did all this shebang, and that night we all hung out, like just myself, my dad, my brother, and Thomas's family. And the reason my sister couldn't come as well, a few people messaged asking like, why was Jessie not there? So she doesn't live anywhere near any of us. We all just drove back, because we didn't want to be around anybody else, because it's really important to do the social isolation thing. Jessie lives out the other end, and she would have had to get public transport to get in. all these decisions with the registry office were made like in a few hours. Like we had no time.
It was very quick. Like my older sister wasn't able to go either. She lives down in Cork. So my older sister Danielle, she had to miss the little secret wedding as well.
Yeah.
But that's why we're so excited to have the big wedding in the future. So
and all of our family can be there. Like my sister obviously is the maid of honour, you know. I put up a couple of posts just to update my audience and it went mad. Like my tweet got over 100,000 likes or something. There was like celebrities tweeting like, oh, congratulations. I was like, what? And then Hello Magazine wanted us to do an interview and all this. It was mad. And I think it's because like we just tried to be glass half full about it and see the positives in a negative situation or a difficult situation. And yes, there are more difficult situations than a bloody wedding. But at the end of the day, at that point, that was like such a big thing in our lives. We just made the most of it and we said got married.
Yeah, exactly. We had the song Melanie got walked down the aisle by her dad. I was crying. Melanie was crying. My sister was crying. Her brother was crying. Like it was really emotional because it was just so built up. And then we were like, it's not going to happen. And then we were like, now it is actually happening. Yeah, we're actually getting married. And Melanie's brother Andrew, he did a reading at a really lovely reading. It was called The Art of Marriage. The Art of Marriage, which is a lovely, lovely poem.
I'll put it in the description box.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
And it was really special. Like it was just in this little registry office in Dublin, but as soon as the ceremony started, it was special, and it was great.
I love you so much. I'm so happy that we got to get married, and in spite of all of this shite going on. And also, it's a funny story. You know, that was like our family, thankfully, are so like bubbly and positive and stuff, and they were like, oh sure, this will be hilarious in the future to tell your kids about. And it, you know, not that a pandemic is funny, but just it's a bizarre
situation.
This is like a 1 in a billion, 10 billion chance that this would happen the week of our wedding. Literally, like, I'm so happy that they called on people to not have gatherings and stuff like that a week beforehand, because imagine if it happened the day beforehand.
Yeah.
I know of people who had weddings planned of like 250 guests, and then this came out like the day before, or the, you know, a couple of days before. Like, that would, it could have been so much worse. We
had enough time to process things and basically save everything and save everyone a lot of trouble. A lot of people who travelled over didn't have to travel, and we managed to give the venue enough notice as well so that they didn't have to order a load of stuff that went in the bin. So we got very lucky in that regard, that we actually just had enough time to just, you know, battle stations.
The main kind of takeaways I want you to have after watching this video, maybe just have a smile on your face, because love always wins. But oh, that's so I did not just say that.
It does always win.
Distance yourself from other people, especially people who may be vulnerable. We may be going to see Thomas's granny and seeing her through a window, like talking to her through her window, just so that she's not lonely, but that she's not being put at risk. Just stuff like, if you're out in public, don't stand too close to people. Keep your hands very, very clean. Essentially, they can't stop everyone from really getting this, or they can't stop it, but they want to just flatten the curve, isn't it? Just to stop our healthcare systems being so overwhelmed. And oh my God, nurses and healthcare staff need better pay, need so much more kind of respect and appreciation from all of us. Like, this has kind of shone a light for me on how shit their working conditions can be and how understaffed our healthcare industry is. But
the biggest thing you can do to support people in that industry is to follow the guidelines.
Yeah, stay at home as much as you can.
Yeah, exactly. But I think the term social distancing should really be changed with physical distancing.
Yeah.
Just because you can't be close to people who you don't live with, obviously. Like, you can still be close to the people in your houses
And you can call people, like I've been FaceTiming mates.
Yeah, like FaceTime and things, and you can still go for walks with people, just be 2 meters apart, and you know, maybe pick a route where there isn't loads of people around, you know? Like, you can still enjoy your life, and you can still make the most of the things that you can do, and make the most of the things that you do have. But it's just going to be a temporary change right now, so we all just need to respect it and not fight it.
Yeah.
Because that's going to lead to more problems, and that's going to lead to more stress on the healthcare system. So just think about other people.
But yeah, in the face of all this going on, lots of happy news over here. With a little one on the way, and we are just so happy and thankful for each other, and for I sound so like holy and religious right now, but the gratitude is like seriously intense.
Yeah. It's time.
You don't have to be religious to have gratitude, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's situations like these where, you know, when you can't go into work, you can't go to the gym, you can't do all these things that you're so used to doing, and you're sitting in your house, and you can either be like really down about it, or you can take a deep breath and just look around and be like, well, everyone in this house is healthy, and a lot of people in other houses aren't that lucky. So it's just really it's
just your mindset.
Yeah, it's really just adjusting your mindset to when you get really, really down to it, what are really the important things. And just, like I said, work with what you have, and everything else will be back to normal eventually. Yeah.
You all have vibrators and stuff, don't you? Be fine. Read books.
That's not
watch Netflix. Eat extra food. And yeah, we're gonna go, and I hope you enjoyed this, and just kind of chat to us down below about how this has impacted you, because I'm just really curious, and I want to be there for people, and I'm going to read as many comments as I can. And thank you to my husband for being on our channel. Again, I filmed with you in ages. I love our rings.
Our rings.
My husband.
Yeah. It's like that quote from The Simpsons, you know, when Marge is like, "You're in a very special club, the family Simpson, and only 2 of the members of that club have special rings." Yeah. Woo!
Bye.
Bye.